Hi, sixth graders. Today we're actually going to finish up our unit on circles. Yes, it's a very short unit. So today we're going to talk about the area of circles. So the area is how much space is inside here. Okay, how much space is inside here. And there is a formula for the area of circles. So if you'll add this to your formula sheet to the next square. Okay, so area of circles. Okay, so the area of circles, the formula is area equals pi r squared, or pi times the radius squared. Okay, pi times the radius squared. Okay, and just like when we did circumference, sometimes we're going to use 22/7 for pi, sometimes we'll use 3.14 for pi depending on the problem. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples. So let's start with a circle. Okay, who has a radius of 7 inches. Okay, a radius of 7 inches, and we want to find the area. So the area is pi times the radius squared. So let's use 22/7 in this problem. So pi times the radius squared. Well, if the radius is 7, we need to square that. So again, squared means 7 times 7, and so 49 would be our radius squared. Okay, and then we're going to be able to cancel because the 7 goes into itself once, and 7 goes into 49 7 times. So all we have left is 22 times 7. That's going to give us the area of this circle. So I'll give you a minute to multiply 22 times 7. Okay, hopefully you got 154 inches squared. Remember, it's area, so it's inches squared. So 154 inches squared would be the inside of the circle. Okay, let's look at a different problem that we'll need to use a different thing for pi. So we have a circle. Okay, and we know that this circle's diameter is 24 meters. Okay, 24 meters. Okay, so first of all, we know when we're finding area, its area equals pi times the radius squared. So the first thing we need to know is what is the radius. So the diameter is 24, okay? So if the diameter is 24, then what would be a radius in this circle? Okay, so we know a radius and a radius, so it must be 12. Okay, so 12 is going to be our radius. So first we need to square that. So we need to know what is 12 times 12. Okay, what is 12 times 12? Hopefully you know that from memory, but it's 144. Okay, so 12 times 12 is 144. So again, it's pi times the radius squared. Here's our radius squared, and we're going to use 3.14 for pi this time, because 144 doesn't cancel with 7. So we just multiply 3.14 times 144, and that's going to be the area of this circle. So I'll give you a minute to multiply 3.14 times 144. Okay, 3.14 times 144. And again, remember that because the problem has 2 places behind the decimal, your answer needs to have 2 places behind the decimal. Okay, so 3.14 times 44. Okay, hopefully you got 452.16 meters squared. Okay, 452.16 meters squared would be the area of this circle. Okay? Okay, let's look at some semicircles. Okay, so we want to know the area of this semicircle. Okay? And the semicircle has a diameter of 14 feet. Okay, 14 feet. Okay, so again, we want pi, so we're going to use 22/7, times the radius squared. Okay, again, if 14 is our diameter, our radius must be 7, and then we've got to square that. Okay, so radius is 7, got to square it, 49. Okay, and then again, like when we did circumference, we only have half of a circle, so we need to multiply by half at the end. Okay, now we're going to see if we can cancel. So we can cancel here. 7 goes into itself once, and 7 goes into 49 7. 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 22, 11. And all we have left is 11 times 7. Okay, 11 times 7. So we would get 77 feet squared. Okay, and this is actually easier, I think, than circumference because there's nothing else to do. We don't need to add anything back because we just found the inside of that by doing this right here. It's 77 feet. We're done. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something that will save you time. Okay, I'm going to show you something that will save you time. So let's do a semicircle, okay, that has 84 feet. Okay, 84 feet. Okay, I'm going to show you a big time saver here. Okay, so we're going to use 22/7 for pi, so 22/7 times, okay, and we've got to do the radius squared. Okay, the radius squared. So first of all, if we take half of 84, that's going to be 42. Okay, and nobody knows from memory 42 times 42, which is the radius squared. Okay, 42 squared is 42 times 42. Okay, nobody knows that from memory. So let's do this. Instead of working that out and figuring out what that is, let's just do this. Let's do 42 times 42. We'll just write it out as part of the problem. Okay, so instead of go ahead and multiplying it, I'm going ahead and doing it like this because, again, we're going to be able to cancel and we're not going to have to multiply that big number. Okay, so pi times the radius squared. Radius squared is 42 times 42. And we still need to multiply by half because we only have half a circle. Okay, and then look at, we're going to be able to cancel quite a bit away, which will make this problem easier. Okay, so let's start with the 7. So the 7 goes into itself once, and it goes into 42 6 times. Okay, we can cancel the 2 with the 22 or with the 6. Probably what's going to make it easier problem for us is going to be to cancel it with the 22. So I'm going to cancel it, make it a 1, and it goes into 22 11. Okay, all I have left is this, which you know, you can do that in your head. 11 times 6 is 66, and then times 42. And so by writing it out like that, I only have one multiplication problem at the end to solve, and that's my answer. So 66 times 42 is going to be my answer. So let's see what we get for 66 times 42. Okay, 66 times 42, what would be the area of this semicircle? Okay, what would be the area of the semicircle? Okay, hopefully got 2,772, 2,772 feet squared. Okay, 2,772 feet squared. So again, by writing 42 times 42 out, rather than working it and then doing it, it just saved us some time, okay? All right, let's do another one. Okay, so let's say that we have a semicircle and we have 28 feet. Okay, 28 feet is its diameter. Okay, 28 feet is its diameter. Okay, so let's do the same thing as we did in the last problem. So we're going to use 22/7, so that's pi, times the radius squared. Okay, so first of all, we need to know the radius. So if the diameter is 28, the radius has got to be 14. And since we probably don't know 14 times 14 from memory, let's write it out, 14 times 14. Okay, and then we only have half a circle, so we're going to multiply by half down here. And then, just like last time, we're going to cancel everything we can cancel. Okay, so 7 goes into itself once, and it goes into 14 2 times. Okay, let's cancel the 2 with the 22. 2 goes into itself once, and 2 goes into 22 11 times. Okay, so again, all we have left is one multiplication problem to get to our answer. So we have 11 times 2, we know that's 22, and then we've got to multiply by 14. So 22 times 14 is going to give us our answer. Okay, 22 times 14. So let's see what you get. Okay, 22 times 14. Okay, hopefully you got 308 feet squared, because it's area. 308 feet squared. Okay, let's do a quadrant. Okay, we want to find the area of this quadrant. Okay, the area of a quadrant. Okay, and the area, the radius of this, is 21 inches. Okay, the radius is 21 inches. Okay, so we're going to use 22 over 7 for pi. So 22 over 7 times the radius squared. And again, we already know the radius is 21. No one knows 21 times 21 from memory. So let's write out 21 times 21. Okay, now this time we're only going to need to multiply by 1/4 because we only have 1/4 of a circle rather than a half. Okay, so 1/4 of a circle. Okay, so again, let's cancel everything we can cancel, and then we'll just multiply what we have left. Okay, so 7 goes into itself once, and 7 goes into 21 3 times. Okay, we can cancel the 4 and the 22. It's not going to completely go away, but we can still cancel. So 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 11 times. Okay, so we're going to have 11 times 3, which is 33, and then we need to multiply that by 21. So we're going to have 33 times 21. Okay, 33 times 21. So let's see what we get for 33 times 21. Okay, 33 times 21. Hopefully you got 693. 693. And then we still have a 2 on the bottom. Okay, so we still need to put 2 into 693. Okay, now since 293 is an odd number, we know this answer is going to be something and a half. Okay, something and a half. And I'm going to go ahead and do this here because I've had some people ask me some questions about this. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and then there's really 2 different ways you could do the answer. Okay, so we know that 2 goes into 6 3 times. We know that 2 goes into 9 3 times. Four times. Scratch that. 2 goes into 9 4 times, okay? Which is 8, so we have 1 left over. And then we have 2 going into 13 6 times, okay? So when I put 2 into 13, it goes 6 times. Well, that's really 12, which means I have 1 left over. So I could put my 1 here and put my 2 here for half, okay? So you put your remainder here and you put your 2 here, so 346 and a half. Or you could have put a point and a 0 here and gotten 346.5. Okay, either way, it's the same answer. Okay, so that's how you do that because I've had a couple of people ask me that. So your answer for this one would be 346 and a half. Okay, 346 and a half. Okay, let's look at a quadrant that we'll need to use 3.14 on. Okay, so we have a quadrant. And the quadrant has a radius of 12 inches. Okay, the quadrant has a radius of 12 inches. Okay, so we want to find the area of the quadrant. So again, area equals pi r squared. So the first thing we need to do is we need to square the radius. So 12 times 12. Okay, 12 times 12, which hopefully you know is 144. Okay, we're going to multiply by pi, which in this case we need to use 3.14. Okay, 3.14 times 144. We actually did this in an earlier problem that was an entire circle. If you can remember what you put. We actually used this at the beginning. for an entire circle. Okay, hopefully you got 452. 452.16. 452. 452.16. Okay, again, that's the entire circle. We only have a fourth of a circle. So we need to put 4 into 452.16. Okay, and again, these are divisibility rules. It tells us if 4 goes into the last 2 digits, 4 goes into this number. That tells us 4 is going into that number because 4 goes into 16. So 4 into 452.16. Okay, hopefully you got 113.04. 113.04. And just as a refresher about the 0, because so we'll forget that as well. So 4 goes into 4 once with none left over. 4 goes into 5 once with 1 left over. 4 goes into 12 3. Okay, 4, you can't go into the 1, so you have to put a 0 there. And then 4 into, the last time you're going into 16, so you're going to get a 4. So 113.04 inches squared would be the area of that quadrant. Okay, so I think that's everything we need to know about area. Again, it's area equals pi r squared. And if you have a semicircle, then you only need half of that. And if you have a quadrant, you only need a fourth of that. So there we go. I think we have finished up our unit on circles. And so I will see you next time.